AEW are working on re-signing a few major stars. WWE are planning another major international show, and an AEW Revolution match just got 5.75 stars. Wow. Check out the news. 2023 is the year that several major AEW contracts are going to be expiring, and we've got a bit of light to shed, courtesy of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, on some of the big ones, the really, really big ones. We're talking about the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. AEW is working on signing the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega to new long-term deals well before they become free agents. It sounds like they're working on it right now. With the Bucks, they may do well in WWE, it's not guaranteed, and they will have a better schedule in AEW, meaning more time with the family and less matches, and can do their style. With Omega, he doesn't have kids, and he would likely get a major push and would have no end to having fresh opponents. It would also close the door to Japan that he's waited years to reopen, but he did at least consider and have talks with WWE in 2018 to 2019 and wasn't negative about WWE at all while making his choice to go to AEW. Khan did say that he hoped Omega would be in the company for a long time to come. I mean, they're going to have to change the name of the company if they're off.
Yeah.
It's entertaining sort of wrestling.
All entertainment. Yeah, it'd be class. But I think that a lot of this is kind of, I don't know, because with the schedule thing, or the schedule thing, with the Bucks, like you think that WWE is going to bring him in and work him to the bone? Like WWE will happily pettily sign away three of the biggest names, I'd feel.
Yeah,
and
they
go,
would.
what contract, what kind of thing do you want to do? And then I think, in terms of the door closing to Japan for Kenny, again, I feel that if Kenny went to WWE, then maybe you'd be looking at New Japan, maybe trying to talk to WWE about it.
You reckon it would go that far?
I think that, like signing somebody like Kenny's going to probably come with a lot of caveats, one of which is going to be, working set dates for other companies potentially. And I think that it's something that maybe if it didn't get to the point of a working relationship or anything, it could be an agreement. We saw Nakamura go back to Noah. So it's sort of, yeah.
I mean, it's noted there that, like, obviously Kenny doesn't have kids or anything, but the temptation must be there for fewer dates, even if you've not got kids, right? Like, doing fewer dates, especially the style that they wrestle in.
Yeah, the more time you can have to kind of recover, rest, and just sort of get your head out of it a little bit, I feel the better it's got to be, the longer you're in the industry, right?
Yeah, and maybe they could come to an agreement because they are big names where they don't do the house shows as much.
Of course, AEW are going to want to keep hold of the Elite for sure, for many reasons, one of which being, I'd imagine, the name. But, it's sort of, it's kind of like saying the sky's blue, water's wet. Like, of course, Tony Khan wants to keep hold of them. They're three of his biggest talents.
And of course, WWE want them.
Yeah, because they're three of the biggest
talents, right? So it's pure speculation, obviously, at this point. I could see them going either way. I have no idea. It's a coin toss to me.
I think, largely people are going to be happy either way as well.
You reckon?
Come on.
Yeah.
Just
AEW
are you telling me that
love it?
Are you telling me that you would not like to just sit on Twitter?
That's the most mental thing you've ever said.
And just watch what would happen if that was announced. That would be just a lovely afternoon, that. It'd
Sunshine
be so
and rainbows.
good.
Next up, we saw Dragon Lee make his WWE NXT debut. Sort of. He was in the crowd of Roadblock this week. A quick note on him. Lee hasn't done anything yet, but the feeling is he's going to get a big push in NXT. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone.
No.
We've talked for a long time about WWE wanting their next major lucha star. Like, they've had Rey Mysterio for on and off for a very, very long time now. They tried to get it with Sin Cara. They tried to get it with, I guess, all three members of the Lucha House Party. They tried it with Del Rio for a bit. They're looking for the next big name to appeal to that market.
Yeah.
They haven't managed it yet. Dragon Lee, I don't want to tempt fate, but I genuinely think he could be the next one. Andrade, they tried it.
It's sort of, you don't want to kind of go in there a bit too
he's
hopeful.
Good. He's really good.
He's somebody that WWE have reportedly been after for a long time. I remember his name being brought up like a long time back as somebody that they were interested in bringing over. So you've got to think that finally being able to get your hands on somebody you've wanted to work with for ages, there is going to be something in place there that, you know, is going to fast track him to a featured spot.
I hope so. I really hope so. For WWE's sake, because obviously Ray doesn't have that much longer left in him.
I don't know. If we can make him like half cyborg.
Yeah, right. They might need
be
to.
laughing.
This is the one. Dragon Lee's going to be the one. Next up, quick update on Kofi Kingston. Suffered an ankle injury when McIntyre did that running flip dive on several people. Good news here. Although he's injured, it is good news because it was previously reported that he could be out from anywhere between 2 to 8 months.
Yeah.
But it's looking like 5 weeks, according to the Observer again. 5 weeks. And there was concern that it could have been longer. It might have needed surgery, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So we send our best to Kofi Kingston. Because of Kofi Kingston's injury, there's been a big change to a SmackDown match.
Yes.
There was announced a 5-way between Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, LA Knight, Kofi Kingston, and Karrion Kross. Kofi Kingston can't do it anymore. He wasn't that thing. It's Xavier Woods replacing Kofi Kingston in there. That's a nice little spot for Woods.
Yeah.
He's not going to win or anything, but I hope he has a decent showing.
It's, you know,
he's on his own for a bit.
It's a featured spot. It was a bit of a weird thing to get to this match because it just kind of happened with, I want a title shot, and then somebody else comes, I want a title shot. So it feels kind of just a little bit thrown together, but I think these can often be quite fun situations and, you know, lead to a lot of just interesting little moments.
5 bloody good wrestlers in there. I think it should be a really decent match.
Should be a hoop.
It should be the main event as well. I hope it is. I hope it is. I don't know if it's been announced.
The way they've been kind of building to it, I feel like it's going to be.
Yeah. Right. I've got an apology to make before this story, right? I did news yesterday, and it's the second time I've made this mistake. I called Puerto Rico, which is getting backlash. I called it an international show. It's part of the United States. It's a US territory. Apologies, but a new international show, which is international.
Are you sure?
Is being worked on. I think Australia is outside the US. State government of Western Australia negotiating with WWE to run a major stadium show. So that's really, really exciting. We've got no real sort of further details on this. The likely city apparently would be Perth. I mean, it's great. I'm loving the international shows.
We saw WWE go to Australia for Super Showdown at the MCG, was it? And that was like a huge event. It felt like it was absolutely packed. That
decent show.
So yeah, fairly decent show, and I think that, you know, the more WWE in more markets producing bigger events. Ideally, canon. I'd love it to just tour the world doing pay-per-views in different countries in the world.
These are proper, aren't they? It's really exciting. As a fan, like, I just enjoy the increased crowd response that they get, the big pops and everything.
Yeah.
The places that don't get WWE shows very often, getting a WWE show, a proper one, stadium setting.
Yeah.
It's going to be massive.
It's huge.
Grand. G'day. We're finishing off with some match ratings for AEW Revolution from Davey. So one of these matches, you'll never guess which one, got 5 3/4 stars, right?
It's the opener, isn't it?
Take a punt. It's not the opener, unfortunately. And there was also a 5-star match on there. If you're off now, because I know some people don't like it, hopefully you'll stick around because I think they're interesting. It's one man's opinion and all that.
But you can kind of chart it against his opinion, and if you know where your opinion lies in line with his opinion, you can kind of work out, well, that's maybe like a 3.5 for me, or
they're like bumholes, aren't they? We've all gone.
We've all gone.
Have you? Right, first off, Mark Briscoe, Lucha Brothers, Varsity Athletes, and Davari, 3.5 stars there. Ricky Starks versus Jericho, 4 stars. Jack Perry, Christian Cage, 4 stars. I really enjoyed that match, by the way. Elite versus House of Black, 4 3/4 stars. Didn't quite make it. Didn't quite make it. Jamie Hayter versus Saraya versus Ruby Soho, 3 stars. Hangman Page versus John Moxley, 5 stars. Have I missed something here?
No, it's just, I was like starting to get there. It's 4 3/4. Like, it's like...
They've done better, to be fair. They should be disappointed. Page and Moxley, 5 stars. Wardlow Joe, 2 1/4 stars. The Guns versus Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, The Acclaimed, Danhausen, Orange Cassidy, 3 1/4 stars. And of course, MJF, Bryan Danielson, 5 3/4 stars. These star ratings, they don't tell the whole story or anything.
No,
I always think they're an interesting way of thinking, hey, is it worth checking that out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you kind of know where your opinion lines up with his, you can sort of work out whether it might be for you or might not be for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think we've got me and Meltzer, the 2 most respected industry professionals. I think we've got very different tastes, but I
think he's a match out with all of these. Like, maybe he's used the wrong line in his document, because Jeff Jarrett definitely deserves 5 3/4 stars.
Double J's doing great work. He's doing great work. That is it from us for the day. Sam and I will see you tomorrow on the news, and then check out loads of content coming out over the weekend. Take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend. See you in a bit.